From orbit, Titan looks almost peaceful, an orange world beneath Saturn's rings, wrapped in clouds thick enough to hide continents. But in 2189, something beneath that haze stopped answering Earth. The settlement was called Asterion, humanity's first permanent colony on Titan. 12 pressure domes, a fusion core, greenhouses, laboratories, and 237 residents lived beside a black methane sea for 11 years. Asterion transmitted without interruption weather data, medical reports, mining results, ordinary messages home. Then, at 3:17 Coordinated Earth time, every outbound channel went silent. The colony's relay remained powered. Its antenna still tracked Earth. Internal systems continued exchanging data, yet no voice, status packet, or emergency code crossed the distance between Titan and home. The last received signal was only 7 seconds long, a rising band of interference. 3 precise pulses, and a sudden cut to silence. No words were recovered from the transmission. Earth waited through Titan's communication delay, then sent repeated commands. None were acknowledged. After 72 hours, the disappearance was classified as a colony-wide emergency within unknown cause. A crude rescue mission would take years to prepare. Instead, the Lunar Deep Space Authority launched an autonomous recovery probe designed to investigate, preserve evidence, and return any surviving data. For 34 months, the probe crossed the outer solar system. During the journey, Asterion's power signature never vanished. The colony was not dead. It was simply refusing to speak. The probe entered Titan atmosphere through layers of nitrogen haze and methane cloud. Its instruments detected no explosion, no reactor breach, and no chemical plume from a catastrophic failure. Then the colony appeared below, domes intact, transit corridors illuminated, antennas moving, thermal systems stable. From the air, Asterion looked less like a disaster site than a place awaiting its inhabitants. Guidance lights activated as the probe descended. The landing platform cleared itself, verified the visitor, and opened its service ports. No human controller issued the command. At the main gate, pressure doors unlocked automatically. The colony's maintenance network still recognized authorized equipment. It welcomed the probe into a settlement that had been silent for nearly 3 years. Inside, the corridors were warm and pressurized. Ventilation systems circulated clean air. Emergency lighting marked every junction. Fine dust covered the floor, undisturbed except for the probe's first tracks. The habitation modules contained no bodies. Bunks were made. Lockers remained sealed. Personal objects had not been packed. There was no evidence of evacuation, violence, or a struggle. In the dining hall, meals still sat beneath preservation covers. Several chairs had been pushed back as if people had stood up at the same moment and expected to return. Exploration suits remained on their racks, but 12 were missing. The outer airlock lock showed no matching departures. According to the colony, those suits had never left the building. The greenhouse continued producing food for residents who were no longer there. Robotic arms trimmed plants, recycled water, and placed each harvest into cold storage until the shelves were full. Outside, methane rain moved across the domes in slow dark sheets. The colony endured it exactly as designed, heating walkways and clearing drains while the surrounding world erased every unprotected trace. Asterion's compact fusion reactor was operating at 63% capacity. It could continue for decades. Whatever happened had not destroyed the systems that kept the settlement alive. Maintenance robots still repaired rovers, replaced filters, and inspected seals. Their task lists showed no awareness of an emergency. To the machines, the colony was occupied, functional, and on schedule. One detail broke that illusion. A rover was missing from the vehicle bay. Its mission record had been deleted, but automated cleaning marks showed that it had departed shortly before the final transmission. Satellite images revealed a faint track crossing the ice plain away from Asterion. It led not toward another outpost, but toward the methane sea 40 kilometers to the north. At the shoreline, stood an isolated research pier and beacon tower. The missing rover was not there. The Black Sea stretched beyond the horizon, almost perfectly still beneath Saturn's distant light. The beacon was active, but it was not transmitting toward orbit. Every 19 seconds, it sent a narrow pulse downward through the methane and into the frozen crust below. Archives sonar data showed a repeating echo beneath the sea, not a natural reflection, but a geometric sequence returning at exact intervals from several kilometers below the surface. Titan's methane seas rest above layers of water ice. Far deeper, scientists believe a global ocean of liquid water ice around the moon. Asterion had drilled toward that hidden ocean. The shoreline facility contained a bore shaft descending through the crust. Its machinery remained powered. The last depth record ended abruptly, farther below Titan's surface than any previous human excavation. The probe followed service cables into a chamber beneath the ice. Condensation covered the walls. Drilling pipes entered a circular opening that the colony's original construction plans did not include. Inside the exposed ice was a smooth geometric structure. It carried no human markings, no visible joints, and no recognizable power source. Yet its surface temperature changed with the beacon's pulses. Recovered logs revealed that colonists had discovered it 7 weeks before the blackout. At first, they believed it was an unusual mineral formation. Then it began responding to active sonar. A scientific team surrounded the object with instruments. Every transmission produced a return pattern more complex than the last, as though something below was learning the structure of their questions. Soon, the colony's control network began changing. New data routes appeared without authorization. Sensors synchronized across unrelated systems. The same 3-pulse pattern spread through cables, doors, rovers, and communication arrays. The residents moved portable transmitters, power cells, and sealed research equipment toward the shoreline. Officially, they were preparing a deeper survey. Privately, several logs called it an invitation. During Asterion's final recorded minutes, every communication screen displayed the same rising signal. An open microphone captured alarms, moving equipment, and a finished sentence. It is not coming from one place. Then sections of the colony went dark. The shoreline beacon and drilling facility remained illuminated. 12 missing suits, 1 absent rover, and every human biosensor disappeared from the network together. The probe reconstructed the likely route through the methane storm. The rover had carried equipment to the sea, while the colony's automated systems redirected power toward the underground facility, following the service tunnel. The probe ascended beneath the shoreline. Cables installed by the colonists continued into the ice, beyond the maps chamber, and toward the hidden ocean below. In an underground staging area, 12 empty pressure suits stood beside opened equipment crates. The suits were upright, sealed, and undamaged. There was still no sign of the people who had worn them. The 3-pulse signal was stronger there. It traveled through ice and liquid as a mathematically precise sequence, repeating from point separated by kilometers, each response arriving at exactly the calculated moment. The probe lowered a sensor through the final shaft. Beneath the crust lay a black ocean untouched by sunlight, filled with drifting particles and faint geometric lights far below. Those lights did not behave like a distress beacon. When the probe transmitted 1 pulse, several points answered. When it transmitted 3, the entire pattern changed as if the ocean were replying. At that moment, Asterion's dormant transmitter towers rotated toward Earth. Without instructions from the probe, the colony began broadcasting the underground sequence across the solar system. The settlement remained empty. Its dome stood beneath the orange dawn, maintained by machines that still expected human commands. Only the shoreline systems behaved as though their mission had just begun. 79 minutes later, Earth received Asterion's first transmission in nearly 3 years. It contained the original 3 pulses, followed by a second pattern that had never appeared in the colony archives. No confirmed message from the colonists was ever recovered. But beneath Titan's methane sea, the lights continued to answer, and Asterion continues transmitting less like an